Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Sophie. I am an English and Spanish teacher, and on this channel, apart from lifestyle and vlogging, I also like to do teaching videos. Now, I haven't done that many. I think I've only done one in each language, but I'm now planning to do one a month of each language. So one English lesson a month and one Spanish lesson a month. Now, if you do want a little bit more of my English teaching, then go to this Instagram here, English with Soph, which is my English teaching Instagram, and on there you get one post a week, whether it be idioms, phrasal verbs, grammar. And I'm also going to be starting with reels, and also we have stories with quizzes and different pronunciation, so there's lots of things on there for you to learn English. So today I thought I would bring you sentence structure. Now it seems like something stupid, like, oh, I know how to make a sentence, but when you're actually speaking the English language, that is when your sentence structures in your head get mixed up with your original languages. Now I know that Spanish and Italian children, adults, whoever it is that are learning English language get sentence structure mixed up all the time, be it kids, be it adults. There's always something that is a bit off with sentence structure, and that is because people mostly, when they learn a language, they translate exactly from their language to the new language. But when you do that, you get mistakes. So I thought I would teach you the typical sentence structure in English, and I'll give you some tips on what not to do. Okay, first of all, typical sentence structure in English will always be the subject plus the verb plus an object. Now the verb can be a normal verb or it can be a verb phrase, and the object can be anything that goes after the verb. So for example, in Spanish this would be the complemento directo. So an example of this would be the table is blue. The table is the subject, is the verb, and blue is the object. Now blue is obviously an adjective, so an object can be anything. It can be adjectives, adverbs, it can be prepositional phrases, it can be absolutely anything. Now obviously a sentence in English will always start with a capital letter and finish with a punctuation mark. This punctuation mark could be a full stop, it could be an exclamation mark, or a question mark. Now when you have an exclamation mark or a question mark, you do not need to add a full stop after this, you just start the next sentence with a capital letter. And if you have a sentence which has quotations, so a conversation, then depending on what you are saying, the exclamation mark or the question mark or the full stop will go before or after the quotations. So for example, if you are shouting, you're going stop, then the exclamation mark will go before the end quotations. But if it's just, for example, he said, go to the shops, then you do the full stop after the quotations. Now, as I've said, every single sentence in English needs a verb or a verb phrase. Without a verb, you do not have a sentence. If you say, for example, the black cat, that could be a title, but it is not a sentence in English. It needs a verb or a verb phrase. And it also 100% has to have meaning. It has to have an objective to what you are wanting to say. If the sentence doesn't make sense, then it cannot be a sentence. So in English, there are 4 different types of sentences. We have statements, commands, exclamations, and questions. Now a statement is, for example, the example I gave before, the table is blue. That is a statement. That is something that is 100% true and something that you are saying. A command can finish with a full stop or a exclamation mark, and it is telling somebody else to do something. For example, go to the shops or stop. These are all commands. An exclamation mark is something that we normally say surprised or angry, and will finish with an exclamation mark. And then a question is obviously something that finishes with a question mark and normally starts with a question word or phrase. Question words would be what, why, which, who, when, where, how. Or question phrase, did you do this? Or are you, can you? So it depends what you are saying, but normally you can guess what type of sentence the sentence is in English with the punctuation that it finishes with. So finally, I thought I would bring you some tips on what not to do in English. The first thing is to never ever double up subjects. I hear it happening a lot. For example, Laura, she is so pretty. Laura, she is. Here you have two subjects, Laura and she. Pronouns are normally subjects, and you can normally only use a pronoun once you have already mentioned the person you are talking about previously in the text. For example, Laura is pretty. She is very nice. The she is talking about Laura because we already know it's talking about her because we've said it. We cannot start off a story with she is very pretty. Who? We don't know. So, pronouns and proper nouns, so Laura, Danny, Lara, whoever it is, these are all subjects, but you cannot double up a subject. Now, another thing I hear foreigners do a lot is to use is, the verb is, as a subject. Why? Because they do that in their normal language. For example, in Spanish, you will say, es súper guapa. You'd say, is very cute or is very pretty. But you cannot use is in English as a subject. You have to use, again, a proper noun or a pronoun. So she is very pretty or Laura is very pretty. Finally, question structures as normal sentences in English is something I hear so much in adults and in children. So question structure is obviously different from a normal structure because instead of being subject, verb, object, it is verb, subject, object. So for example, who is she? Who is the question word, is the verb, and she would be the subject. Who is she? So it's the inverse, the opposite way around. Now, when you are saying, for example, oh, she asked me, what is my name? You can't say that because what is my name is a question. And you cannot use a question structure as a normal sentence. So if you want to say that she asked what your name is, you have to say she asked what my name is with the normal structure. My name, the subject, and is the verb. So I hope that helped. I know it might have been a little bit confusing. I am going to write everything on here, and I will also put everything, if you want, in the description box. But please, if you have any questions, write them down below in the comments. I will for sure answer you all, and I hope this helped. If it did, please subscribe because more of these videos are to come. We're just starting off with the very basic English, but we will get more and more advanced. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye.